Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we are looking at the latest mode in Combat Arms, the classic Lone Combat Mode. Now before we start, I'd like to thank Velof for sponsoring this video and giving me an exclusive sneak peek at CA's latest mode. And if you guys want to download Combat Arms the Classic, a link will be in the description below, so make sure to check it out. Now the first question we should be asking is, what is Lone Combat Mode and what is Combat Arms? Because I know a lot of you guys have probably never played this game before. Basically, Combat Arms is a free-to-play first-person shooter that I've got over 7 years experience in playing. So when Velof asked me to explain this new mode, I thought it would be an absolutely fantastic opportunity to come back and check this game out. Now getting back on track, what is Lone Combat Mode? Well, Lone Combat Mode is basically Battle Royale but for Combat Arms, where 20 to 42 players can hop into a new map called Nox's Damnation. Now while the name is weird and a bit new, the map will be very familiar to fans of CA because it combines 3 pre-existing maps together, Brushwood, Overdose and Black Lung, but more about that later. So when you hop into the match, you start out in a waiting lobby, which is how each round starts. Basically, Lone Combat Mode works in rounds where each round lasts for about a maximum of 5 minutes, so don't leave when you die because you'll be right back into the action soon enough. Now once the countdown timer ticks to 0, the match has officially started, and you're spawned randomly on the map, either in the Brushwood, Overdose or Black Lung section. Now you start out with just your fists, which to be honest don't do that much damage, so quickly scramble to go and find a weapon. Now in the first stage when you first spawn, you'll only be finding melee weapons, pistols and maybe a shotgun if you're lucky, so the firepower you have available is quite low. However, ammo kits are basically everywhere, so stocking up on ammo shouldn't be a problem. Now as the stages move on, the power of the weapon drops increase significantly, with assault rifles, sniper rifles, light machine guns and more start spawning. You'll also find medkits to replenish your health, which is super important to go and pick up. By the time you get to the last 2 rounds, M4A1 SOT mods and M416 CQBs will be spawning on the ground, which are 2 very powerful assault rifles. Pick those bad boys up, pick up those ammo kits, get to max ammo and you'll be definitely at an advantage. Now before I was talking about stages, and what I mean by that is Lone Combat Mode doesn't really work on the circle system that most Battle Royale games use. Instead, after a certain amount of time, one of the sections on the map is automatically filled with toxic gas, and you have to run to the next section. Now for example, when it says crash site is being filled with toxic gas, that means you have to run from the Brushwood part of the map and move to the Overdose section, which is in the center. Now from there you might have to run further or the game may push your enemies towards you. It's completely random, so you need to be on your toes. Now in the end, if the game goes on long enough and all zones are being filled with gas, you'll need to eliminate the other player or just survive long enough that they die from the gas. And that's where the medkits really come in handy, so keep those in the back of your mind. Now once a winner's been crowned, you go back to the waiting lobby and do it all again for a total of 5 rounds, with the winner being the one that wins the most rounds overall. It's definitely a different implementation of Battle Royale, but it works, and it can be a little bit confusing at first. That's mainly because you need to learn the map and learn how the different sections connect, but after a few rounds, you'll have it down pat and you can easily move from one section to another. Now with those basics down, I wanted to give you guys some quick tips before we look at a full round that I played, giving you some really complete gameplay of this new mode. Now my first tip is to try to find the R870 shotgun as fast as possible. It has great damage and a very decent fire rate, and given that pistols early game are quite weak and you need quite a few ammo boxes to load up your assault rifle, the shotgun is super effective and quite easy to find ammo for, so it was my go-to throughout my playtesting. My second tip is to make your way to the Overdose section as fast as possible, as that's the section that will never be flooded first. Either Brushwood or Black Lung will, and that will force people towards you. Now that means you can catch people rotating out and get some easy kills, as there is generally only 1 or 2 paths away from each section, so be wary about that. My third tip is to not be too greedy with loot if there is a lot of people left. With the maps being very close quarters, if you're mucking around getting your weapon set, you might just be shot in the back. Sometimes it might be better just to stick with a shotgun for now instead of swapping to an M4A1 SOT mod with 10 bullets just until you know the coast is clear. Now with that said, before we hop into that full round, I want to quickly talk about the new survival pass system which has been implemented. Since Combat Arms is getting a Battle Royale mode, of course it's going to be getting a Battle Pass system, and Survival Pass is basically CA's version of that. With Survival Pass, there's a free and premium stream, and every day you log in, you get prizes. So overall, it's an incentive to keep playing Combat Arms of Classic. Now, if you want more exclusive prizes, then you can go and buy the Survival VIP Pass. So you can go and get more stuff, more prizes, so on and so on. Alright guys, here we have a full gameplay, a full round of Lone Combat mode, and this is probably the best round that I had throughout my whole time playing this mode, and I absolutely pop off. Now, as you can see, we're in the preparing for round section, and basically, you just wait for the timer to tick to 0, and then you get spawned into the map. Now, you get spawned into those 3 sections, Brushwood, Overdose, or Black Lung, and as you guys will see, I spawn into the Overdose section. I pick up the Balisong knife, I try to pick up the ammo, realize I need an actual gun first for that, but I've got a knife, not too useful. One person below me, one person to my left right now. I drop down, I pick up the R870 powerful shotgun, I put 2 into this person, take him out. Then I use all my bullets. I'm like, alright, I gotta go and put some more shells in my shotgun. I put 1 in him, take him out. Get the headshot on this guy, and I panic, and I was like, okay, I've got normal ammo in my shotgun, but I actually had 2 shells left, so I could have potentially killed that guy, but we'll go back for him a little bit later. So, reloading that R870, now going back to where I was, trying to go and just find a little bit more ammo. And let's go back to my initial spawn, and then boom, I've got 6 shells in my shotgun. That's why the shotgun's really good, because it does so much damage, and you get, you know, a decent amount of shells with the ammo pickup. So, I see that person right there. I drop down, I miss a few shots, I'm a bit of a bot, I might be blaming lag right here, who knows, but I kill him. This is crazy though. I get flashbang, there's flashbangs in the game, and down this raft, there was an enemy, and I'm just sitting around, this guy's shooting at me, I've got no idea what's happening, and I'm like, alright, I got no ammo, I